Okay, so for this last part, we're doing domain and range. What you need to know is that domain is X and it goes from left to right, and range is Y and it goes from bottom to top. So for domain, if I start on the left side, I'm going to draw like a vertical line on the left side. So this is my left. That's where my graph starts. Here's my line. And then I'm going to cut my graph on the right side. Here's where it goes. There's my right side. So on the left side, I went through number 0. And on the right side, I went through number 20. Domain is X. I'm going to put the X on the middle. On the left side, I had a closed circle. That means I need an equal sign. So less than and equal to. On the right side, I had an open circle. So it's just like a less than sign. No equal sign necessary for that one. And we're going to talk about those in class. We do cowboy and angel, which I'm going to give you a graphic on it. But a cowboy is closed circle, bracket, equal sign. And then an angel is open circle, parentheses, no equal sign. And then closed circle is also a solid line. An open circle is a dashed line. But that's our cowboy. An angel as a quick reference. That's what we're going to use in this class. So now back to my range. We're going to go from bottom. So this is the bottom part of my graph. And here's the top part of graph. So notice how I basically just boxed in my entire graph with those lines. That's how I'm doing it right. Now on the bottom, I go through the y value of 0. So my starting number is 0. And on the top, I go through the y value of 25 because it's between 20 and 30. So 25. It's my y value. And I go back to those sides. Here on my bottom, I had an open circle. So it's less than. And on top, I have a closed circle. So it's going to be equal to. Quick and easy. If you follow that process, you're going to do fine on all the questions. For example, I'm going to jump into question 21. Left, right. So on the left side, I crossed -5. On the right side, I crossed at -1. Left was open, right was closed. There's my domain. For my y, I go bottom, -6, top, 0. And on the bottom, I don't really have an open circle, so we could call it it's a closed. And on top, it's open. So there's my answer for that one. Now, I'm going to talk about question 20 because that one's a little bit different. Because notice I only have an arrow and an open circle. So that one, yes, it goes to infinity. So for domain, we go from left to right. On the left side, I have -3. And I don't have anything on the right side. So it's just like that. -3 is less than x. In math, we do it like the letter first. So I can do x is greater than -3. And there's no other endpoint. For range, it's the same thing. Y is greater than -3 also. Because that's my lowest point. I go above that. And then we also have... Jane has 3 cereal bars in her backpack. A cereal bar contains 130 calories. The number of calories consumed is a function of the number of bars eaten. And then they want a reasonable domain and a reasonable range. And so what does it mean by reasonable? It's just something that makes sense, right? So if I was eating these bars, how many calories would I gain? So that means my calories depend on how many bars I'm eating. That's my independent. If calories is the independent, that means, sorry, it's the dependent, that means it's the y. That means bars is my x. So I'm going to draw a little graph so I can kind of see it. Here are my bars. Here are my calories. And I can eat 1, 2, or 3 bars. And if I eat 1 bar, I consume 130 calories. If I eat 2, I consume 260 or 390. So it kind of looks like this. But don't forget, you can also eat 0 bars because that means you didn't consume anything. You're allowed to not be hungry, right? That means my reasonable domain are these values right here. I can go from 0 to 3. And my ranges go from 0 to 390.